You spend more time with yourself than with any other person on earth. Every waking hour, every sleepless night, every difficult conversation, you are there for all of it. And yet most people have never consciously examined the quality of that relationship. Is it one of warmth and support, or one of chronic criticism and impatience? The relationship you have with yourself doesn't stay contained. It shapes how you show up in every other relationship, how you make decisions under pressure, how you recover from difficulty, and how much of yourself you're willing to invest in the things that matter. It is, in the most practical sense, the foundation of everything else. A compassionate relationship with yourself doesn't mean constant self-approval or the absence of self-reflection. It means engaging with yourself the way a genuinely caring person would, with honesty, warmth, and the assumption that you are trying. It means noticing when you're struggling without making the struggle mean something catastrophic. It means taking responsibility for your mistakes without treating those mistakes as verdicts about your character. It means recognizing when you need rest, support, or kindness, and responding to those needs rather than overriding them. In practice, it looks less like relentless positivity and more like steadiness, a reliable internal presence that doesn't abandon you when things go wrong. Kristin Neff's research identifies 3 core components of self-compassion. Mindfulness, the capacity to notice what's happening in you without being overwhelmed by it or suppressing it. Common humanity, the recognition that suffering, inadequacy, and failure are universal human experiences, not signs of personal deficiency. And self-kindness, treating yourself with the warmth and care you would offer a good friend in difficulty. These 3 pillars work together. Mindfulness creates awareness. Common humanity reduces isolation. Self-kindness provides the soothing response. Developing all 3, rather than just one, is what builds a genuinely compassionate internal relationship. Most people encounter significant resistance when they try to practice self-compassion. The resistance takes several forms. There's the belief that self-compassion is self-indulgent or will reduce motivation. There's fear that being kind to yourself means letting yourself off the hook. There's the deep, often unexamined conviction that you, specifically, are not the kind of person who deserves kindness, that your particular failures or flaws put you outside the category. And there's the physiological reality that self-criticism is a fast, automatic, deeply grooved response, while self-compassion requires a slower, more deliberate choice. All of these obstacles are real, and all of them can be worked with. Subscribe to this channel for ongoing support with exactly this work. We're here every week. The most effective way to build a compassionate relationship with yourself is through small, consistent daily practices rather than occasional large efforts. A morning check-in. How am I actually doing today? Not fine, but genuinely. A midday pause. What do I need right now? A brief evening reflection. What was hard today, and did I meet any of it with kindness? These take 2 minutes each, but over weeks and months, they shift the default. You start to notice your own experience with more regularity and less judgment. The compassionate response, which at first feels deliberate and slightly strange, becomes more automatic. You are not changing your personality, you are training a different habit. Building self-compassion outside of difficulty is important, but the real test is what happens when things go wrong. When you make a mistake, lose something, fail at something, or behave in ways you're not proud of. In those moments, the compassionate response is not to bypass the difficulty or manufacture positive feelings. It's to pause and acknowledge what's happening. This is hard. I'm in pain. This is a moment of difficulty. That acknowledgement, without amplification, without self-attack, is the beginning of a compassionate response. Research shows it's in precisely these difficult moments that self-compassion has its greatest impact, reducing shame, shortening recovery time, and preserving the clarity needed to actually learn from what went wrong. One of the most research-supported self-compassion practices is the compassionate letter. You write a letter to yourself about something you feel ashamed of, a failure you're carrying, or a part of yourself you struggle to accept, from the perspective of an imaginary, compassionate friend. Someone who knows your full story, who understands the context in which you made your choices, who sees your humanity clearly and responds with warmth rather than judgment. The practice works because it activates the brain's soothing system and creates a visceral sense of being responded to kindly. Many people find it deeply moving. Some find it initially difficult, precisely because it asks them to extend to themselves what they've withheld for a long time. Building a compassionate relationship with yourself is not a quick fix. It is genuinely a long game. There will be weeks where the inner critic is very loud, and the compassionate response feels miles away. There will be moments where you practice something that feels hollow, or where you catch yourself mid-spiral and can't seem to stop it. That's not failure, that's the practice. The goal is not perfection, a fully compassionate inner life with no self-criticism and no difficult days. The goal is direction. Consistently, imperfectly, returning to the practice of kindness. Over time, something shifts. The internal environment becomes less hostile, not because you've fixed yourself, but because you've stopped treating yourself as something that needs fixing. You are not a project, you are a person. And persons deserve to be accompanied, especially by themselves.